Jubilee Circle's mission is different. If anybody has ever watched our live streams, if you have ever been to one of our celebrations in person, you know we're different. We are not like any church out there. We're not like any other spiritual community. Jubilee Circle, this is a spiritual dojo. This is the place where people come, they learn the inner moves, they learn the tools that they need to become the light of the world, to remember who they are, to remember that they are the light of the world and that their function in this world is to go out and be that light every single day. We are here to offer you the tools that you need to transform yourself, to expand yourself, to understand that you are the light of the world. You are the unlimited vastness of the holy. And we can help you connect. And we can help you find a community where you can grow and you can be transformed and you can transform the world.
Everybody. Good morning. Welcome this morning to Jubilee Circle. Welcome to the few of us who are in the building, and I don't blame us since Delta, all that fun stuff. The airline is probably not happy about all this. I don't like it when they're saying Delta in a bad way. But anyway, if you've ever flown Delta, you've probably said it in a bad way. Okay, let's move along. This morning, welcome to Jubilee Circle. Welcome if you are in the building. Welcome if you are joining us via live stream. We are happy to have you however you are viewing us this morning. We are continuing our Via Positiva theme of How I Wonder. This quarter we have been discovering how wonder can help us experience more miracles and remember who we truly are. Storyteller Michael Mead recounts a tale of an old woman who lives in a cave. She spends her time there weaving. She wants to create the most beautiful garment in the world, and she only interrupts her work to shuffle over to a large cauldron at the back of the cave where she stirs some soup that is simmering over a flame. And she knows that if she does not keep the soup stirred, it will become scorched and trouble will result. One day, as she leaves her weaving to go and stir the soup, a black dog who had been watching her in the cave goes to her loom and pulls on one of the threads. And as he pulls and pulls, the beautiful garment begins to unravel. And when the woman returns, she finds a chaotic scene with her great creation all pulled apart, making her work all for naught. She stares intensely at the mess for a while, and she ignores the dog. But after a while, she bends down. She picks up one of the loose threads, and she begins again, determined to continue weaving the most beautiful garment in the world. It's instructive for us to consider what this woman does in this tale. She does not scold the dog. She is not triggered by the mess, her beautiful creation lying in ruins. She does not blame anyone. She doesn't get mad at God. She is simply present with the situation. She sees it clearly. And then she gets back to work. Even though the fruit of all of her previous work has been undone, she remains dedicated to bringing beauty into the world and to see the world as beautiful despite the chaos she might see around her. And jubilants, this is what we are called to do in the world, to always be about creating beauty, to always being able to see the world as beautiful and not ugly, to see the world as blessed and not cursed, to see the world as full of love and not hate, and to give up our grievances. There is so much, jubilants, so much in this world that we cannot control, so much suffering that we cannot personally end. So all we can do, jubilants, is the work that is given to us. Our calling to see the world as beautiful, bring all of our beauty to it, and create the beautiful world we want to see so that everyone gets to say, oh yeah. Please rise as you're able. And we begin, as we do every Jubilee Circle celebration, by remembering the 4 elements, the air and the water and the earth and the fire. And we burn black sage as a reminder to set our intentions in this world, to not just live mindlessly or just go through our days not thinking about much except what we got to do that day. So I invite you this morning, set your intention. Set your intention for your personal life, set your intention for the world, set your intention for Jubilee. But set your intention to be who you truly are, to be love, to be the beauty that this world needs. And we also orient ourselves in this sacred time and space by calling the 4 directions.
Let us turn and face the east. Holy One, remind us of the beauty of this life as the sun rises to begin each day. The beauty of each waking moment when we are reborn into a new day. The past is gone and the future is yet to be created. Remind us, Holy One, that beauty is alive and well in every moment, from the beauty of our breath to the beauty of our beating hearts. Remind us, Holy One, to give thanks for the beauty of each new day. Quarter turn to the right and we face the south. Holy One, remind us of the beauty of the south. Its mystical warm breezes that heat our globe and makes the sweat rise on our brows. Remind us of the beauty of summer squash and summer cucumbers and summer peppers that tingle our tongues. Remind us of the beauty of the summer heat that makes us slow down a little bit, take it easy a little more, and drink in the delightful tastes of the summertime. Quarter turn to the right and we face the west. Remind us, Holy One, of the beauty of the West. We so often want to cling to the past, to the good parts, and especially the bad parts. So often it is in the darkness of the West that we pull out our grievances and mull them over. But teach us the true beauty that happens when we release all the bad and all the good things that have happened in the day and look forward to the rebirth of morning. Remind us, Holy One, that letting go can bring about true beauty. Quarter turn to the right and we face the north. As the cooler weather teases us in these warm days, remind us, Holy One, of the simple beauty of the fall, the tang of pumpkins, the sweetness of apples, the beautiful colors of the leaves as the trees begin their seasonal ritual of dying to bring forth new life. Remind us, Holy One, of the beauty as this old life passes away to birth us into the new life of springtime. Turn back toward the center and witness beauty. What else could explain the amazing conglomeration of cells, veins, and skin that comprises each of us? We are all walking, talking, eating, and pooping miracles. All right. The beauty happens when we recognize that our existence is miraculous and that God has created us not for fear or dread, but to play and enjoy the beauty all around us by saying, oh yeah.
Sage the band. All right. Remain standing. I'm going to sing a little bit of Sister Hazel this morning to remind us to see the world as beautiful. Thank you all for being here, keeping yourselves safe this morning. All right. All right. 2, 3, 4. Differently than I've ever seen myself. You hear me clearly when I haven't spoken. I wake from a dream when I fall from the doubt. But you say I don't know what I'm talking about this time when I keep myself from flying. right, you may be seated. And so the band has been a little bit decimated by vacation. Trisha's on vacation. And Michael and Keith are not feeling well today, so please keep them in your prayers and your thoughts. And so the rest of the band is here. Janice Mewborn over here on banjo and vocals. We have Bruce Clark back here filling in on the bass. And Larry Farina on drums. And me, Candace. So we are 4/7 strong today. So everything, huh? Yeah, see, right here. I am Cece. It's just the dog gets all the glory. So Cece's on vacation too because that's Trisha's dog. So where Trisha goes, Cece goes. And if you're out there in TV land and you want to follow along, the bulletin is at jubileecircle.com. You can download it. You'll have all the readings and all the lyrics, so you'll know what's going on this morning. So welcome, everybody. We are an inclusive, progressive, interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina. Jubilee Circle does teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that is found in all mainstream religions, in metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and the teachings of inspired secular and religious leaders throughout the ages. And we do seek to create a space, either here physically or out there, where everyone can experience spiritual transformation, to find life's deeper meaning, to love wastefully, to engage with this world peacefully and do justice, all in an effort to discover how to live into our higher divine self. And we also recognize we're part of God's good creation. We are formed in love and joy as well as space dust. But we humans, we often forget all of that, and we believe instead that we live in this world of paradox, this world of separation, where I see you over there and me over here, and we don't feel connected. And so because of that, we see the world and judge it as both beautiful and ugly, or good and bad, generous and stingy, loving and recalcitrant. Why is that word never in my head? But let us remember our true function here in this world jubilance. It is to be the light of the world, to continually return to that home we've never left while we embody and become that open channel for love, the love with a capital L that created us. Oh, yeah. All right, a couple of announcements. Coming up next Sunday, I've got an original song of mine that we will use to explore the wonder of willingness. And yay. And we have, we're coming near the end of this Via. In the next couple of weeks, it'll be the fall. Yay! Oh, yeah. And so we'll have a new Via. It'll be Seeing in the Dark. That's going to be our theme for the next Via. It'll be the Via Negativa. It's everybody's favorite Via. Man, it's such a downer. But we will try to. Oh, yeah. Well, it's the negative way to God. It's the God is not this. God is not that. God is not. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Let's see. And boy, we had a good open mic with Tim O'Keefe on Friday. Tim was fabulous. You will be able to see some clips of that on the Jubilee Circle Facebook page, thanks to Jim Mounts, who is our amazing technical guy and camera guy back there. So Jim recorded the proceedings on Friday, and if you want to have a look, I think you got all of Tim's performance, and he got everything. Jim did nothing. Escaped Jim. It's in the dark. He gets mad at me because I turn the lights off, because we have these beautiful stage lights and we just ought to use them. And so yeah, so it's kind of dark, but you can hear the sound really well. So so tune in for that. Stay tuned. He's already got a clip of Sunshine Delusions up. So yeah, so check that out for Facebook. So yeah, they had a great little set. So everybody be on the lookout for that. And then next Friday, October 1st, another First Friday. Al told me who our Richard Streeter? Strader? Okay. Well, I hope he's a musician. It's an open mic. Strader? I thought he said Streeter. Oh, anyway. That dude will be here at 7, and then we'll have the open mic at 8. And so we've got fun. We got fun coming up. Yay, yes. All right. Any other announcements? Is there anything I'm missing? Something I need to say something about? I can't remember. people tell me stuff on Sunday and it falls right out of my head because I have all these other things I seem to be thinking about. All right. Hear these wise and holy words. From the Jesus story, Matthew 23, 25 through 26. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you clean the outside of the cup and of the plate, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup, so that the outside also may become clean. From A Course in Miracles, chapter 12. Only appreciation is an appropriate response to your sibling. Gratitude is due them for both their loving thoughts and their appeals for help, for both are capable of bringing love into your awareness if you perceive them truly. Fear is a symptom of your own deep sense of loss. If when you perceive it in others, you learn to supply the loss, the basic cause of fear is removed. Thereby, you teach yourself that fear does not exist in you. The means for removing it is in yourself, and you have demonstrated this by giving it. Fear and love are the only emotions of which you are capable. One is false, for it is made out of denial, and denial depends on the belief in what is denied for its own existence. By interpreting fear correctly as a positive discarded, if you raise what fear conceals to a clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, fear becomes meaningless. You have denied its power to conceal love, which was its only purpose. The veil that you have drawn across the face of love has disappeared. Don't worry, we're going to kind of unpack that one. From Ken Wapnick's book, Forgiveness in Jesus. We should practice true empathy, identifying with another's richness and strength, the light of heaven, rather than with one's poverty and weakness, the darkness of the ego. Therefore, it is not injustice, evil, or sin that is the problem we wish to correct. It is the error of separation. If we believe in the reality of suffering, we must believe that someone or something has brought it about, and that it is someone, and that this someone must be punished for his crime or wrongdoing. Thus, the world outside of good and evil mirrors the world we believe is inside of us, separate and conflicted. These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Let's stand and sing, and this is our new social distancing song. Well, the song is not new, but touch some elbows, dance with each other. 2, 3, 4. Doctors have come from distant cities just to see me. Stand over my bed, disbelieving what they see. Guess we need a shorter song. y'all are like going. That's right. Right. All right. So our song this morning contains my new favorite chord. Isn't that pretty? That's an E major 7. Yeah, right. Usually it's Sprinkles' job to put that pretty stuff in. So, all right. So this is a song from the iconic band, The Grateful Dead. The song is called "Eyes of the World," and it comes from their 1973 release, "Wake of the Flood." 2, 3, 4. Right outside this lazy summer home, you ain't got time to call your soul a critic, no. Right outside the lazy gates of winter summer home, wondering where the nuthatcher's winter wings a mile long just carry the bird away. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world, but the heart has its beaches, its homelands, and thoughts of its own. Wake now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings, but the heart has its seasons, its evenings, and songs of its own. Very good. In December of 2015, I found myself on the road driving back to my childhood home of Beaufort, Georgia, for my mother's funeral. I have never had a great relationship with the majority of my siblings, especially my 2 oldest sisters, because we are polar opposites in the political and religious belief categories. Holidays have always been tense affairs, with arguments over both topics exploding over turkey or Christmas presents. Take your pick. I was determined, though, that this visit was going to be different. I was a fairly new student to A Course in Miracles, and I had been listening to a lot of talks from Marianne Williamson about the Course and how to practice it. And as I drove to the home of the sister who lives in Georgia, where I would spend the next few days, I was listening to Marianne Williamson, and she talked about this Course principle that opened me up to a miracle during this visit. The Course says in chapter 17, only what you have not given can be lacking in any situation. Only what you have not given can be lacking in any situation. It's similar to this from chapter 11. Everyone you meet becomes a witness for Christ or for the ego, depending on what you perceive in them. And it got me to thinking about what it was that was lacking in my relationship with my siblings, especially these 2 sisters, and how I was perceiving them. I definitely was not seeing them as a witness for Christ. Not at all. So I decided that whatever the next few days would bring, I would bring what was missing, and that was the presence of peace that had been lacking in our relationship all these years. It was not easy. I'm going to tell you, it was not easy. Not 15 minutes into the drive from the Atlanta airport, after picking up my sister Barbara, who had arrived from Phoenix, the sisters were at it in the front seat. They were talking about how awful the country was. Remember, this is 2015. They're talking about how awful the country was, how stupid the president was, how he was a secret Muslim, and all of that, how the world would be better if the politicians they supported were in charge. And I bit my tongue hard because their conversation triggered me. It triggered me deeply, and I wanted to push back. I wanted to tell them how wrong they were and how right I was. But I remembered my pledge to bring what was missing, to be the peace. So instead of joining in, I just sat in the back seat silently and watched. And after a few minutes, with no one providing a counter-argument or anything for them to resist against, the political rant just kind of fizzled out. They just stopped talking about that. And when they got quiet for a minute, I saw my opening and asked both of them about their grandchildren. And we were off to the races with cute stories about the latest episodes of their little darlings. And I could have taken the old, well-worn path. I had answers to everything that they were saying. I had the other side of the political argument. But what I witnessed from the back seat was truly a miracle. First, I saw how completely ridiculous political arguments are. Here are two middle-aged white women arguing their points in a car in Lawrenceville, Georgia, far removed from any locus of power in the world. That's just funny. Really? Okay. They truly believed that they knew how to run the world better and what would bring about peace and joy for everyone. If they ruled the world, they would set it all aright. And the absurdity just made me laugh out loud. But you know what? We all believe that. We all believe if we had our way, the world would be a better place. And yet the truth of the matter is this: we do have it our way. All of us, collectively, we have created this world. We've created it exactly from that place that my sisters were in, a place of self-righteousness and fear and anger and separation. We can't have a better world. We can't have anything different than what we have right now, as long as we're sitting with our tribes and bitching and moaning about how everybody else is screwing up the world. What I learned in that moment is this: your outrage, your fear and anger at the state of the world will never heal it. Only your peace can do that. Because that's what's missing in the world, the peace that we're not giving. I saw that come true in the back seat of the car. Because the next thing I realized was that my sisters are beautiful. They are amazing, innocent children of God. I saw them transform in that moment from my age-old adversaries into just these beautiful lights of love. For the first time in my life, I think, I beheld them with a pure, holy kind of love. I wasn't trying to beat them. I wasn't trying to outdo them. I wasn't trying to be right. There was nothing wrong with them. They just glowed. And they had not changed one bit. They had no idea that I was in the back seat having this miraculous experience. But I was. I realized I am the eyes of the world. And they are the eyes of the world, even if they never realize it. I can choose to see this world as either one of separation or of unity. I can choose to see whoever I encounter as either a witness for Christ or a witness for the ego. In that moment, I saw my sisters as Christ, sitting in the front seat of that car in Lawrenceville, Georgia. What they said, how they acted, it had nothing to do with how much I loved them in that moment. I had encountered what we're talking about today, the wonder of being triggered. Now, of course, this wasn't my first triggered rodeo. I, like most humans, spend a lot of time being triggered by one thing or another. I dare you to doom scroll through Facebook or Twitter or the cable news channels without being triggered. That's what they're there for. Outrage seems to be the emotion of the moment. But what if we stopped being outraged? What if We understood the wisdom of this axiom. If you have stuff with someone else's stuff, that's your stuff. If something out here outrages you, it has nothing to do with what is happening out there, and everything to do with what's happening in here. What if being triggered is a call to wonder, a call to be willing to see the world differently, perhaps through the eyes of those you believe are responsible for the terrible shape of the world? What if when we're triggered, we understand that is a call to go within and lead a love revolution in the only world we can truly change, and that is the one we carry around behind our own eyeballs? And that is what Jesus is inviting the Pharisees to do. In today's Jesus story, he is telling them to create the world they want within themselves so that it will manifest outside. That's how it works. The world is a mirror of what is inside of us. He uses the images of cups and plates to show them the difference between trying to get the outside world to be just the way you want it, while your inside world is just as chaotic as what you're experiencing outside. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, he tells them, for you clean the outside of the cup and the plate, but inside they're full of greed and self-indulgence, you blind Pharisee. First clean the inside of the cup, so that the outside also may become clean. That's the step. Clean the inside first, and the outside will become clean. But those Pharisees, they are very, very concerned with what those around them, outside of them, are doing. And they have a very long list of rules and regulations that people need to fulfill to be in God's good graces, in their opinion. However, Jesus calls them on this hypocrisy. He tells them to stop whitewashing the outside and instead clean up the crud within. Clean up your fear. Clean up your anger. Clean up your greed. Clean up your own despair first. If you do, Jesus is telling them, then you become the eyes of the world. And what you see out here will miraculously change. Breathe deeply. 2, 3, 4. There comes a Redeemer, and he slowly too fades away. There follows a wagon behind him that's loaded with clay. And the seeds that were silent all burst into bloom and decay. And the night comes so quiet, it's close on the heels of the day. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. But the heart has its beaches, its homelands, and thoughts of its own. Wake now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings. But the heart has its seasons, its evenings, and songs of its own. We're all a bit like those Pharisees, of course. We insist that the world out here clean up its act, while we continue to ruminate over our grievances, over our anger and fear within ourselves. We, like the Pharisees, we want the world to live by our rules, and we're upset when it doesn't. We may even, if you read this Jesus story, you may even think he's a bit triggered by these Pharisees. I mean, he starts calling them names, right? Blind hypocrites. Name calling, that's a sign of being triggered, right? Well, on the egoic level, maybe Jesus was triggered a little, but I believe that Jesus always understood what the Course would later teach about the two states we usually live in. We are either extending God's love, or we are issuing a call for love. The Course says there's only two emotions that we have, fear or love. And when we're in love, we're extending that love. When we're in fear, we're asking for love. We're issuing a call. And Jesus knew the truth about these Pharisees. He knew they too were the light of the world. And in this moment, they were in their fear. They were calling for love, and Jesus was answering. And this is where we usually get confused, because we think of a loving response as like gentle or meek or like, ooh, kind in some way. But I think Jesus was extending love by calling the Pharisees on their crap. Sometimes it takes a seemingly harsh rebuke to snap us out of our fear, to show us that we're stuck. Sometimes we need a good triggering to help us see the world differently so we can remember who we truly are. So in this incident, Jesus is showing us what the Course would repeat thousands of years later, that when we confront our own triggers, when we confront our own fears, we can then become the eyes of the world and see the innocence of others. When we wash the inside of the cup first and make it appear as clean as we wish the world to be, the jig is up for fear. It's like the end of The Wizard of Oz, where the veil is lifted and the power of the ego to frighten us is gone. Our reading this morning from the Course tells us, if you raise what fear conceals to clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, fear becomes meaningless. You have denied its power to conceal love, which was its only purpose. Fear's only purpose is to keep us from seeing love. This is why we are so quick to divide up into factions, because we believe love will prove us wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong. But you know what? We are wrong even if we are right, because none of us knows what's truly best for us. We are called to trust Spirit, to surrender our beliefs about how the world should be. And what lies on the other side of that surrender is wholeness and joy and peace. And the ego keeps us thinking that the ego, it wants us to believe, especially in this time, that if we are not acting, if we are not actively resisting, we're going to end up with a world of dictators and authoritarians if we let them win. If we can see, jubilance, if we can see that it is our fear that has created within each of us a world of authoritarianism and dictatorship of the ego, and we can let go of that authoritarian rule within, then fear becomes meaningless. And we deny its power to conceal love. In that moment, when we oust the dictators within that says, everybody needs to do this and do it my way, then we are truly liberated. And when we are truly liberated in here, the outside world is liberated too. It becomes what the Course calls the happy dream, where the perception of separation becomes impossible. We just look and we see everybody as our holy sibling. Removing those triggers within, then, is how the Course says we learn that fear doesn't even exist within ourselves. It can't exist in here because we are made of love. We are created in joy and peace. Fear is a byproduct of our belief in the separation from God and one another. Our ego is the thing that taught us to fear. The good news is we can unlearn it. We can choose again. We choose again by refusing to see anyone as an enemy. By refusing to see anyone as an enemy. Including not just those we perceive as enemies outside of ourselves, but we choose to stop being our own enemy. Instead, as the Course tells us, only appreciation is an appropriate response to your sibling. Gratitude is due to them for both their loving thoughts and their appeals for help, for both are capable of bringing love into your awareness if you perceive them truly. Whether we perceive another to be acting in love or a call for love from a fearless place, we must always see them as innocent. Always see them as they truly are. Ken Wapnick, who is one of the premier teachers of the Course, he tells us we should practice true empathy, identifying with another's richness and strength, the light of heaven, rather than with one's poverty and weakness, the darkness of the ego. We do that, Jesus says, by cleaning the inside of our own cup, putting right our own inner fear, and learning to live in love within ourselves. Jubilance, this is all about relationships. The Course tells us to work on our inner world, not as a way of navel-gazing or spiritual bypass, but as a way of actually improving and building relationships around us. We are to practice true empathy by feeling with those around us, not in support of their suffering, but instead as a way to remind them that they are the light of the world, just as we are. We tend to form what the Course calls special love or special hate relationships. We know special love really well. You complete me. I can't live without you. Oh, yeah, you can. You'll be better. That's how the ego expresses love. It's codependent. Special hate relationships, oh, we got those down too. Those are the people who are responsible for all the bad in the world. We hate them with a special kind of hate. Jubilants, we are meant to form holy relationships. In a holy relationship, you refuse to approach anyone with special love or special hate. Instead, you approach them with appreciation. You see the light within them, not their darkness. Holy relationships end the separation. If we appreciate everyone, if we refuse to see them as either specially loved or specially despised, then we become what's missing in the world. We become the unity. We become the peace. We become the safe place for everyone to be who they truly are. Because we are not a place of judgment. We are not a place where you need to feel right or wrong. We are that field that Rumi talks about, out beyond right doing and wrongdoing. And that is the miracle that ends the separation. When I decided what to give what was missing in the relationship with my sisters, I began the process of cleaning the inside of my own cup. I gave myself the peace that I had been missing in that relationship. And then I watched that peace manifest outside myself. This trip was the best time I had ever had with my sisters in my entire life. For the first time, we talked about our lives. They told me about their kids and their grandkids, and they shared some memories that I had never heard from them about our mother. Because I was willing to see them differently. I was willing to appreciate them. I was willing to change my view of them from the inside out. And a whole new world was born outside of me that was peaceful and joyful and loving. I'd never been in that world before with my siblings. It was brand new. I created it. They didn't know. They had no idea. I poked the bear once or twice. I couldn't help it. But it was fun. This jubilance is the opportunity that we have every day. The wonder of being triggered is an invitation to wash the inside of our own cup, to clean up our fear, to wash away our hatred and suspicion and anger and the separation we feel inside. When we do, the world outside is transformed into a world of love and peace and joy, compassion, trust, unity. We begin by unveiling the power of fear within ourselves, by seeing those around us as they truly are. They are innocent children of God. Wapnick, like Jesus, however, is not saying that we should allow anyone to continue to do harm if we have a chance to stop it. Wapnick says, setting limits on people's attempts to destroy social or personal boundaries is often the most loving act that we can do. So I'm not saying there's not room for activism. There sure is in the places that you can make a difference. But don't let your outrage overwhelm you. Instead, use it as a chance to see people more clearly. And in seeing clearly, then the actions that you can take to alleviate suffering of the world will become apparent. So I invite you this week, jubilants, become the eyes of the world. It only takes a little willingness. for Spirit to move through you and reveal the true innocence and light within even those you perceive to be the darkest souls walking the earth. No one's asking you to invite them for dinner or even stand aside if they create suffering in the world. You are asked, however, to appreciate them. They're playing their role in the world. They are learning lessons specifically tailored for them. So whenever you are tempted to become angry with them, though, remember, everything they're doing is just a call for love. Whatever is missing in this world is what you are not giving. And if you want a truly loving world out there, then the one within must be a loving place. If you want a truly peaceful world out there, you got to create peace within yourself. Being triggered by the world around you, it is a call for love. So instead of those who are blaming, instead of blaming all of those people who are triggering you, all those people you think are mucking up the world, use that trigger, use that moment of being triggered to go within. Forgive yourself for not creating a better world. Forgive yourself for being so fearful. And when you have forgiven yourself for what you see as the sins of the world outside of you, that world will change. It will be healed. There really is only one of us here anyway. So with enough practice, with enough willingness, the veil of fear will be lifted for all of us and will become meaningless in the overpowering light of love. And that means we all get to say, oh yeah, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes we live in no particular way but our own. Sometimes we visit your country and live in your home. Sometimes we ride on your horses. Sometimes we walk alone. Sometimes we hear just songs of our own. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. But the heart has its beaches, its homelands, and thoughts of its own. Wake now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings. But the heart has its seasons, its evenings, and songs of its own. Oh yeah. All right. Well, if I didn't trigger you, I'm sorry. I was trying. It wasn't for lack of trying. All right. During this prayer time, I invite you. Whew, it's so easy to be triggered these days. That's why I don't watch the news anymore. That's why I check news apps and, ugh. The ego's job is to keep you triggered. It's to keep you in a place of anxiety. It's to keep you in a place of outrage. It's to keep you in a place of they're doing it wrong. It's to keep you in a place of separation. And it seems, and I think social media exacerbates this, but it seems like there's no unity anywhere anymore, except with your own little tribe, maybe. But it's not true. The social contract in the United States, I think, is pretty much broken. And we're passing laws that make us snitch on each other. We're passing laws that turn us on each other. And we have created this world. Every single one of us. The only reason it's out there, the only reason these things are happening is because we, as a collective consciousness, have made it so. And the only way to make that a different world is to be part of the change to that bigger consciousness. And it doesn't take all of us to do it. Marianne Williamson always used to say, not everybody has to change their minds, just enough. Just enough people. And I believe Jubilee Circle, other more metaphysical-minded, New Age-minded folks out there, we are on the cutting edge. People are realizing this is not how the world survives. We can't survive in separation. We cannot be rugged individuals. We must be a community. We must be a collective. And so I invite you in this moment. It's not navel-gazing. It's not spiritual bypass to clean the inside of your own cup. It's revolutionary. It changes the world. I've seen it on a micro scale. And we see it on a macro scale. We've seen it. Martin Luther King Jr., he saw a beloved community. He created it. And just like that woman in the cave, sometimes someone comes and unravels what we have created. But we don't give up. We just keep creating beauty. We just keep doing our work. Do not become discouraged by the state of the world. You have the power to change it. I invite you in this moment to meditate on the cleanliness of your own cup. How clean is it on the inside? Your power lies in cleaning your own cup and bringing that love to the world. And I promise the world will change.
Spirit
I love that song. All right. Julie Buckley is going to come up here for our support plea. She has a little interactive thing for us today. Jim, what's the best place for her to be for where I am?
Is this one on?
No.
No?
Oh, yeah, it is. It's on.
Oh, it's on. Good. Hey, everybody. First of all, Candace, thank you for those words.
Oh, thank you.
We have a little housework to do, huh? To go and start cleaning our cup.
All right. Speaking of cups.
Yes. That was a segue. This is the time that we will ask for donations. We will boldly ask for donations because there's nothing in this world that you can do nowadays if you don't have some funding. So we do ask. You know, sometimes we sit back and we go, oh, I don't have a lot. I have 3 helpers to come help me. 3 helpers come up. Nope, not Jess. You have a seat back, Jess. Sorry, Jess. Next time.
It's like I always
Next
help,
time.
though.
Y'all can just stand right there. I think you can reach my cup. You know, sometimes whenever we give, Beth, I'm gonna let you pour this in our giving jar. All of it. Oh, she's had a good month. Woo, look at that. Whoa. She was able to put a lot into the kitty. Wow, that's awesome. And we celebrate with her, you know, that she's had an awesome month this month. Renee, come here. Renee, on the other hand, and she wonders if hers is really going to make any kind of difference at all. Put it in.
Oh,
But
yeah.
she is. She said she's grateful for what she has. And yes, that's the way we need to be. And she gave amount. We're going to rejoice with her too, even though it happens to be a small amount. Bob, he gave his regular amount. He's been faithful. He gives regularly and he helps regularly. And we appreciate that. But you know what? This month, Bob had some extra blessings. So you know what? He's giving what he usually does, plus more. Thank you, Bob. It took all of us giving what we have. Not looking at, oh, I can't give because I don't have much. You know, he's got more than me. I'm not going to give. It took all of us giving whatever we can together as a community, and then we're able to make it all work here at Jubilee. So we're not asking for you, and we never will ask you to plant a seed of $1,000 like you hear some of the other televangelists do. No, we won't be doing that. You're not going to see Candace flying off in her plane.
I don't like flying.
No, or driving around in the most expensive car there is. No, we have a very modest budget here, but we need your help each week to meet that budget. So give as your heart says, and we will celebrate your joys like we did with our 3. Thank you so much.
Woo! All right. Is that actually something drinkable or? Oh, that's the hummingbird food. All right. All right, y'all. So join us over on the Zoom. We are going to start our discussion. Y'all can do that. There you go. Go to the Jubilee Circle Facebook page or jubileecircle.com, and you will find the link for our Zoom. What? Did you? What? Oh, and for donations, indeed. We can round that out. To make a donation, you can go to jubileecircle.com. There is a donate button there. You can donate through Facebook, or actually PayPal, or you can donate through Venmo. So please go to that link there. And of course, if you like writing old-fashioned checks, you can do that too. P.O. Box 4611, Columbia, South Carolina 29204. So join us on the Zoom, and we will fellowship a little bit, talk about how triggered you might have been this morning. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together with hearts and arms open wide. We make our way by walking, in love we will abide. The path is always open and no traveler is denied. So open up your heart, forget those tears you cried, because we all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together, hand in hand, and side by side. Taking my breath lessons. All right, everybody, thank you. Thank you for being here. Join us on the Zoom.